The simple rules of time travel, which I only just hold to in this, are that they can travel back only in time to places that they remember themselves, and then having got there, they can behave differently and then travel back through life again, which they don't notice. But it's a very simple thing. They can't go back, as it were, past their 5th birthday. And then I did get to this idea that you can't travel back in time past when you have a child, because you'll end up with a different child, and that's one of the key moments in the film. Well, it's an anti-time travel movie, that's the thing, you know. It's actually a movie saying that if you could manipulate and change all your past as much as you like, you might well decide that you're happy where you are. And so it's actually, the philosophy of the movie is about, you know, that what they decide is that actually the best kind of time travel is just to jink back to the beginning of a day and enjoy it, you know, instead of being tense, not to be worried. And if I could just do that in my life, that'd be enough. I started again with Domhnall. It was like, you know, when we were searching for weddings for someone to act in the movie and saw lots of people. And even though he was hard to see because he was wearing an enormous orange beard that he was using for Anna Karenina, I could tell that Domhnall had the kind of irony, sense of comedy. He does sketch shows back in Ireland. And yet the sort of sweetness of heart that I wanted, and he was just by far the best of the people who auditioned, and sometimes that's what you should do. You should cast the person who's best. There was no trouble with the red hair, and in fact there's more though. There were some extra red-haired people in the movie. I had red hair when my hair had colour at all, so it was quite sentimental for me to have an orange-haired guy. Yeah. I think Rachel's a sort of genius. It was extraordinary acting, I mean, seeing her act, because she kind of has this ability to embody the emotion of a scene. She doesn't seem to need the lines in order to do it. So I almost felt slightly foolish having taken so much trouble to try and do a scene in which somebody's cheerful or nervous or falling in love, because she just embodies it straight away the moment she starts, and she could almost say anything. So I'm slightly overwhelmed by how sort of brilliant she was in a way I haven't seen before. I changed it very little, no. I mean, I was trying to find the right person, and I found the right person in Rachel, and then we changed a little bit. But oddly enough, what often happens with an actor is you think you're going to change a lot, you do those changes, you all agree that this is why she's in England, this is her past, and then you take all that stuff out before you shoot it, because, you know, when you know it, you actually don't need it. Well, actually, the part wasn't written for him. I've often, just like, you know, in Notting Hill, I didn't write, in fact, I specifically wrote the part not to cast Hugh, because by that time Hugh was too famous, but then I thought, oh, well, you know, he's better than anyone will find. And the thing about Bill is I know him so well, and he's almost like a member of my family. And since it was a movie about family, there was something tremendously comforting. And we both agreed that he would play it very sort of small and gentle. And that was a key decision, so that instead of it being a kind of exciting piece of sci-fi about a H.G. Wells figure locked in a room with a spinning globe saying we can travel through time, that he'd be just like your dad or mine. You know, passing on a bit of info. Hilariously, I had I couldn't get a girlfriend for years, and my dad once said to me, "Son, I've got the answer to all your problems with women." And I said, "What is it?" And he said, "Nurses." And it was because when he was a young man in Australia in the 1940s, the only girls who'd sleep with you were nurses, because they sort of, you know, knew about human bodies, and everyone else were very prim Protestants or careful Catholics. So that was good advice. I'm not sure I took him up on it very often. I don't know. My best advice to my children is eat more sweets. I don't know.